Hey Mike, how are you? So I'm reviewing your three websites, and they're not bad. There's a lot of little things I think that could be tweaked and improved upon. The first thing I noticed when I came to City Urgent Healthcare was that these icons, these images for their social media, are a bit blurry and not very professional looking just because they're kind of grainy. So those images could be cleaned up. Um, I didn't like the fact that the navigation menu seemed to have a different font style than the rest of the site. So I like this look. I think that these little icons like this and simple three steps, I think that's good. So this one kind of passed some of my initial stuff, but the book of an appointment, that's the obvious call to action of what they want. I would put that in the top right hand corner. I would move the social media down to the bottom navigation so that people know what the clear call to action is, book an appointment. Then, you've got the appointment button here again. I would maybe even include it one more time down at the bottom. Then I would use the bottom navigation for some of this other stuff that didn't matter quite as much, just to draw as much of the focus to book an appointment as possible. When I scroll down, you've got like this kind of parallax looking website where it's got these images behind. I don't mind that feature, but I sometimes if you don't get the images right, like right here, it starts to cut that guy's head off and then it barely shows him, and then it kind of shows the building but not really great. So I don't like that feature sometimes just because of that reason. If you don't get it just right, it can look a little out of sorts. Then when I went to mobile, when I was looking at this on mobile, and this might not do it quite as well, but it does. The words start to overlap over the image. So I would probably add some mobile responsiveness that actually removes the image and changes it to a gray background so that the words show up a little bit cleaner. I would get all those logos just in a line on the mobile. And again, here's a good example of just words overlapping a picture. It looks messy on a mobile. So really just a little bit of mobile responsiveness on that site. Then when I went to this page and it says, what do we treat? There's a lot of stuff here, but I think there's an opportunity to use a lot of little icons to represent each one. So instead of just text or maybe just text and bullet points, like just cleaning this page up a little bit so that it almost has the feel of these little icons here, where you've got these little images. So walk-ins, welcome, book an appointment, contact doctor online. If I go to About Us, I would probably use some of those to kind of, like ear infections. I would have a little image of ears, that type of thing. So I'd probably work on cleaning this page up if it were me. Again, you've got share this down here. I'm not sure necessarily if all those things take away from the message or add to it. On the mobile side, I would clean this page up a little bit. The image that's used right here just looks like a stock photo. So I would size that differently and just kind of clean that up. Then so on this page, it's really not bad. I think they're going in the right direction. I don't know if they only want email, or you might want to include just a simple contact form here. I'd clean this image up. So again, the image is just a rectangle image, but I'd probably put some sort of border on it or make it just look a little bit better. And then the map's kind of thrown in here just with the little iframe. So a lot of little stuff. Now when I go to occupational med, I don't really know right off the bat what the clear call to action is, although I'm assuming it's appointment or call. So I would put the call to action in the upper right. I'd put it right here. I'd put a tagline and slogan very similar to the urgent health or the urgent care. I want to know right off the bat what can these people help me with. And so on this site, same thing with the mobile responsiveness. There's some stuff that we could probably clean up there. The thing I noticed on this site is it uses, two or three different kind of font sizes and stuff. It kind of ends up, the fonts are kind of all over the place. I'd remove these page headers, so I would just remove those. There's no need to see the page header again. I would use icons on some of these things and clean that up. Again, when I go to employers, I'd remove the page header. That's very easy on WordPress. These images, again, the social media images, cool feature that they kind of tip like that. I'm not sure if they necessarily look as clean as they could look, just image wise. I'd probably clean this bottom footer section up a little bit. So that's what I see on urgent healthcare. It's just like a little bit, I mean, it's just design stuff. It's just little design stuff. Now on Haven MD, this is actually probably closer to where we would try and build most of our sites, which is very simple kind of explanation of what you do. But I don't really know, what my call to action is. I can schedule an appointment. I can learn more, but I would probably include one very clear call to action. So the sites I'm going to give you, StoryBrand is a good example. They want you to register. They have a transitional call, which is watch the video. They have 3 simple steps. All of their imagery, the other thing I would say is the imagery that you choose should be all out of the success bucket, which means it looks like somebody's having success with your product or service. So that was the other thing on this one. It's like, what the heck's the fire picture? For me, it's like, it doesn't do anything for me as a client who wants to basically have my urgent care needs taken care of. So this one does a better job of that. So, you notice you can't get away from the call to action on the StoryBrand site. It's got this pricing right there. On the 5-minute makeover site, this is just a good site if you haven't watched it or your client hasn't watched it. This is kind of where I start a lot of my websites. I just say, hey, go to this guy's site. I'm not an affiliate, but go to his site. It's really going to help you understand some of these concepts. And so I like the StoryBrand thing.